On the day that they officially lost their title as the LV County Champions, Lancashire fought hard at Lords to give themselves a slim chance of winning a game against Middlesex, which could yet keep them in the top flight. They resumed their first innings on 236 for 3 on the third morning, 210 runs behind their hosts, but they nearly lost Ashwell Prince early on. Bowler Gareth Berg could hardly believe that the ball fell safe. Prince and Carl Brown made steady progress in the first hour in taking the total to 266, but then the South African edged Toby Rowland-Jones to David Malan in the slips after adding 14 to his overnight 57. Rowland-Jones then put Middlesex firmly on top by bowling Stephen Croft with a ball that simply didn't bounce. That left Lancashire on 270 for 5. So they still trailed by 176 runs with 5 men now out as Gareth Cross came in to join Brown. Cross was to play an important innings not only in keeping his side in touch with their opponents, but also by scoring his runs at an extraordinary rate as Lancashire went after what could yet be crucial batting bonus points. He smashed 8 fours, this being the 8th, as he raced to a 50 of only 30 deliveries. It was a superb cameo from the wicket-keeper, who was quickly changing the course of this contest with a brilliant exhibition of controlled aggression. He was proving that Lancashire had not given up hope of staying up yet. It all became like a T20 game as Lancashire went for broke. When Cross had come to the crease, they needed 80 runs off only 13 overs to get to 350 for a 4th batting bonus point, and Cross was determined to get there. He started the final over in which bonus points could be scored by pulling Berg over mid-wicket for a 6, as he now raced on to 59. But to just his 35th delivery, he nicked Berg behind to go with his side now only needing 3 more runs off 4 balls for the 350, something they managed to do. Brown had played his part, mostly in sticking in there, and with the bonus point equation now out of the way, he needed to get his side as close to Middlesex's total as possible. His 50 was certainly at odds with the one hit by Cross. Brown had used up 133 deliveries and hit only 3 fours from all of those to get to his half-century, only his 3rd of the summer. He lost Kyle Hogg next ball as the tall left-hander tried to hit Ravi Patel over the top, but instead found Malan at mid-on to depart at 375 for 7. Glenn Chapple then added 51 more runs with Brown, the Lancashire skipper hitting 29, including this maximum off Neil Dexter. But Patel had him out, beating Chapple in the flight to have him stumped by John Simpson, with the deficit now standing at only 20. That had been reduced to just 8 when Patel claimed his 4th wicket by trapping Ajmal Shazad in front. And Brown's 4.5-hour stay was finally ended just after he'd taken his side into the lead, as he was bowled by Berg. Lancashire were all out for 448 to lead by 2 runs. The early wicket of Sam Robson would have then increased their confidence, Chapple getting the LBW decision. How they would have now loved to see the back of Chris Rogers, but the Australian avoided a rare pair in his career and then began to thwart Lancashire with some typically classy shots. Still, Lancashire's survival plans were back in place when Joe Denley was bowled by Shazad to effectively leave Middlesex on 42 for 2. Game on. And it would have been even more on had Malan been given out in Shazad's next over. The bowler and fielders were convinced, but the umpire remained stationary. It turned out to be a very significant decision as Rogers and Malan then batted out the remainder of the day. The extraordinary Rogers moving with little effort to his 9th 50-plus score of another superlative summer for the man who celebrated his 35th birthday just last week. He needed 70 balls for this one, which had included 7 fours. Malan, having survived that strong appeal, also batted with authority, making 37 by the end of the day. In partnership with Rogers, he'd added 85 crucial runs by the time that stumps were drawn. So Middlesex will resume on the final day on 129 for 2 to lead by 127, and it's now up to Rogers, who has 57 runs to his name, how the last day will pan out. He has it in his power to declare and set what will be a fascinating run chase.